The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Jesus passed by, he saw a man called Matthew sitting at the tax booth, and he said to him, "Follow me." And he arose and followed him. And as Jesus reclined at table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners came, and were reclining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with the tax collectors and sinners?" But when Jesus heard it, he said, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice. For I came not to call the righteous, but sinners." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear friends, in one of the major basilicas in Rome, known as St. Paul outside the wall, there is a beautiful painting known as the Call of Matthew. And in this beautiful painting, it is portrayed that Matthew, the tax collector, is sitting at his desk collecting taxes, holding on to the cash and sitting at the table like this. And there is Jesus standing at the door, pointing his finger at Matthew. Matthew might have thought somebody has come to rob him, but Jesus is saying, "I want you, not the cash." It is very symbolic and significant. And what happens? No one can remain the same after meeting Jesus, encountering Christ. The Gospel of today says, Matthew left the tax collector's desk, all the money and his profession, and followed Jesus, became his disciple. Now, the change in the name, he was known as Levi. Levi means connected or joined. Maybe he was the missing link between the Jewish people and the Roman soldiers, collecting the money from his own people and giving it to the Romans so that they can live in peace. But he was changed to Matthew. Matthew means the gift of God. And true to his name, when you read his gospel, we can see again and again he repeats the phrase, "This happened in order that what was foretold by the prophets may be fulfilled." So by this, Matthew was pointing out to his own Jewish brethren that Jesus is the promised Messiah as it was foretold by the prophets of the past. So he becomes the bearer of the good news that in Jesus we have the Messiah. Like Matthew, we are also called to be bearers of good news. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine in England, and she said, the church is very unfortunate in her children, because it has come to a stage, because swallowed up by a pseudo-secularism, it has come to a stage anybody can say anything about the church, criticize the church or what is happening in the church, both from within the church as well as outside and still go scot-free, unpunished. If it happens with any other religion, they will take them to task. That is sad. Because we do not really appreciate the faith of the fathers, the apostolic traditions that we have inherited down through the centuries. So when we reflect about the example of the experience on the call of Matthew, it reminds each one of us that we are also called to be a good news, a messenger of the gospel. We are living in a world of cynicism, Pharisaism, and criticism. Like in the gospel, when Jesus was in the company of the sinners and the tax collectors, the Pharisees could not see anything good in it. They found fault with him. They criticized him. They accused him. But Jesus said the good news. He says, I desire mercy and not sacrifice. What is pleasing to God is the good deeds and acts of mercy, kindness, and compassion, not merely lip service and ritual activities. Maybe the same is true. God is calling us for a true conversion of our own hearts and minds and attitudes, so that we may understand that before God we are all sinners in need of God's healing touch, Jesus' gospel of mercy. Instead of contributing our own share to a world of cynicism, criticism, and Pharisaism, let us make our own life according to the gospel of Jesus. Let us make ourselves a living gospel, as St. John Paul II said, a fifth gospel, the unwritten gospel, a true witness of the gospel of God's love and mercy to one another. May St. Matthew inspire us and intercede us by his example of life.